All right, so good afternoon. My name is Springs Mulbah, and here at the Soltiamon Christian School System.
That's it.
Here in Sinkor, Fiamah, Monrovia, Liberia. I have come to speak with those in authority, and I'm here with the school's superintendent, Mr. Reverend. Is that the right one?
That pastor will be all right.
Okay, Pastor Soltiamon. He's the superintendent of the school. And also here with the registrar, who will call his name when the interview starts, and also I think someone for the founder's office. The essence of the interview is to talk about the school's establishment, current administration, trend of enrollment, and how the school is performing so far. So let me say, starting with you, Reverend, welcome to Focus on Liberia TV.
Thank you so much. You are welcome to Soltiamon Christian School System.
And the next in the middle.
I'm Timothy Gamoyuzan. I'm Director for Registrations of the Soltiamon Christian School System.
And the last.
I'm Mistress Dorothy William. I'm responsible for finance.
All right, so starting with the school's superintendent, tell us a brief about yourself.
I am Pastor Soltiamon. Born in 1952, got saved in 1968, and now a pastor of the Refuge Baptist Church, with a bachelor's degree in sociology, a master in education, supervision, and administration from the University of Liberia.
Great. I'm told you the founder of this school. Is that correct?
God led us, founded his school through us, my wife and myself. He built this study class. The children performed so well, and then they asked us to build a school. And we started that school with the idea that we are alumni. When he saw the gate and the wall of Jerusalem broken down by the enemies of truth, and that today the wall that protects young people like decency, old biblical standard, discipline, word of God, and starting with just 8 students, we have grown up to 2,000 today, by 2,000.
Great. All right, so thank you for that brief introduction of yourself and how you started. So, to the main purpose of this interview, so tell us, when was the school established? We already know that it was established by you. When was it established?
My wife and I began the school in 1983. In Buchanan, Rambasa County in Liberia. And the Lord has been so wonderful to us. And here we are today.
All right. So you said that was in 1983. Yes. So that means you are operated from 1983 to 2023. How many years are we talking about?
I think about 43 or 44.
Yeah. So what is your current enrollment? You say you started with
48.
Yeah, 48 years and you're
48 years.
What is your current enrollment at this school? You started with 8 students from the study class.
Based upon last year numeration, because we are still registering and people are still coming in. So it'll be something like 1,800 to 2,000.
1,008 to 2,000.
Yes.
Based on what your statistics from last year.
Yeah, last year.
Oh, that's great.
I think I mean it soon.
Yes, that's okay.
So what are some of the places you get students from? Just from the single vicinity, or you got students maybe from the Pingsville side, maybe from the Bushra Island side? Where are the places that normally your students come from?
And so then I will modify the questions and say, where the localities of Soltiamon Christian school system, because a system of about 11 schools.
All right, that's
And
great.
so we have one in Brewerville, I'm starting from the west. We have one in Brewerville. We have one on the Bowman Bridge, then New Georgia, Gospel Hill, and Gospel Hill, Duper Road, Duazon, then I come back here, Old Road, then 21st Street and 19th Street, Buchanan and Zondo,
Totaling to
about 13.
13 schools now in Liberia.
Not 13? About 11. 11 schools.
11 schools
Yes.
across the I mean just
Yeah,
in
so
the
far,
Monrovia belt.
yeah.
I mean, besides Buchanan.
Yes.
All right, so but we are
In
specific
3
with
counties.
in 3 counties. Oh, really?
Yes, and we are in Sierra Leone too, as our gift to those who hosted us during the war.
All right, thank you for that. So, but we are specific with the 119th Street.
Liberia.
Yeah, on 1 Street. So, how many teachers do you have at current, and what is the composition of your teachers?
We have in our labor force, our labor list, 81 female and 119 male.
If they want females,
Even got 200.
200.
Yes.
Well, you have a lot of females in your school. Why? What is the secret for that?
Well, the secret is that we discovered that women in teaching are more committed to the smaller children, and this is why we decided to take them. Of course, they are quality in the sense of commitment. The men can be way up there, but the women are better for young people, young children. They are mothers.
What other subject do you teach here besides our traditional subject, talking about English, mathematics, those subjects that are taught in Liberian school? Besides that, what other subject do you teach? Maybe foreign language or something like
Okay, foreign language. We teach Bible.
Yeah.
That's the major subject as a Christian school. We also teach French from third grade, is it?
Yeah, third grade.
From third grade, we start teaching French.
So let the registrar answer this question.
Yes,
So the
sir.
trend of enrollment, how does it look like? Do you see students coming? I mean, like when you open a basket for chicken to come out of, is it on a slow pace, especially as of now?
All right, thank you very much. The trend of enrollment is affected by a series of factors. The immediate one is the economic constraint. You know, when parents come on the commencement of registration, the first complaint you hear is that they have not taken pay, so we should somehow adjust the schedule that we have already set administratively to commence the academic year. So the trend of registration normally depends on the ability of the parents to pay in accordance with the schedule. Sometimes we even compromise the registration schedule and waive the deadline payments so that we incorporate them. But tell you the truth, the parents do normally come. They will come and say reserve spaces for us. And
Okay.
we reserve the spaces and the children come subsequently.
So what is the rating of the working environment?
In terms of what?
In terms of boss to employee relationship, employee to boss
wow.
relationship.
The first,
How does it look like?
The first thing that we prioritize in our employment contract is the faith of the individual. I'm not saying religion, but the faith. What belief system is that person part of? Because it makes us to be open with you. Our interaction will be more like family or the kind of brotherly
Yes.
interaction. We are not too distant from each other. So we put premium on accepting Christian into our system. So once you are a Christian here, we don't take that boss. We recognize the structure administratively. And even at the instructional level, we recognize the structure. That the teacher is the teacher in the classroom, the janitor, the security in their prospective areas, but there's no, different treatment. Class system. Yeah. So I think when you came in, you met our superintendent walking almost everybody before coming to the office, and you were patiently waiting for him. So that's just how it appears here.
So, Mr. Superintendent, will come back to you. What are some of the problems that you are confronted with here as an administration in general? I mean, it starts from you. Maybe anybody could talk about. We'll let you hear from you. What are some problems you confronted with here that you observe, that you see, that are visible?
What popped into my mind is the parent body that we have, the men and women who send their children. And then, because situations in our country have changed so greatly that sometimes the norms of the school, the behavior pattern is challenging.
Okay.
It's hard. It looks like everybody wants to be Lord. And ethically it should be. If I go to your office, then I'm not in my office. Then I'm a visitor. And I am to submit to your rule. Now we are having a challenging time, both with parents, and it looks like we have to be training parents as well as the children. And then another challenging thing is the paying of the fees that are required to train the children. Now, of course, this seems to be a nationwide thing we are in, but many people take advantage of the situation and want to excuse themselves for paying. And that comes with another challenge, the simple approach of these parents to those who are doing financial duty here. It's another challenge. And finally, the challenge of teaching materials. God has helped us, and Mrs. Joy is producing some of the books, but not all. But we are grateful that God has given us wisdom to undercut that problem, so that we have books in the hand of the children. I think.
What are some of those books that she's trying to produce?
But as you were saying, English,
Okay.
arithmetic and math, science, literature. Literature, we just say language book, like spelling, grammar and composition, literature will be included in that. Physics, that is sciences, physics. So we got most of those books produced for our children.
All right, you from the business department, right? From the finance department?
Yes.
All right, so to help, to add a little flavor on that aspect of the question, you from the finance department, when there's a slow paced in payment and you are on an obligation to pay people every month, you are on an obligation to make expenses every month or every day, how does it look like for you? Do you also feel it from employees sometimes when time comes? I know you're not delayed that money at school like Soltiamon, I'm sure. That's my opinion. I don't know how it looks like here, but I'm sure you saw now. How does it look like for you? How does it feel for you?
For us, it is troubling to see the school going without parents meeting up with their obligations. But thank God for Soltiamon, who are very blessed in this institution. And they always usually pay our teachers on time. As nowadays, we go out there to see that teachers have not received their salary. But something, like my colleague just said, due to the economic crisis within our country, our payments on fees are very slow. Parents come in, they appeal. And we still got arrears from last school year. Parents come and appeal. So the children that you see in the classes, most of them, they are not registered. They are appeal from parents. So we have to consider them because they are our parents, and we have to give them time. But when it starts to pay, and we have to look for it. We have a response to make sure our teachers receive their benefits and salaries.
Okay, I think the register can answer this one.
Okay.
What are the tuitions for the different classes here in this particular school? What are the categories of
Do
fees?
you need figures?
Yeah, the figures. I'm going to
That
student
we-
pay.
If my finance person will want to
Yeah,
attend that, then she can look and get presented to you.
Yeah.
You want to know figures?
No, I just want to say you answer it.
Because it is spelled out in the information.
Yeah. So can you just roll over that?
Okay, just for have an idea. Our fees are not much because we got uniforms, books, and other fees within. So like for the kindergarten, the yearly fee is $585.
585. That includes what and what?
Like uniform, books, and medical, all of that, school stay, everything.
And the junior high.
And then the uniform,
Or the elementary rather.
we have,
That-
we have
Go ahead.
three to the
Three
four
set of
set of uniform. There are four, yes, there are
Four,
four.
supposed to make
Four,
it
supposed
four.
to-
You have
Everything is in a
Everything
585.
is $585. So you see our fees not much at all.
Oh really?
Yes.
What's about the elementary?
The elementary from first to sixth grade is on the $780.
And all those,
Yes.
the same package
for them.
is inclusive.
For them now they have computer,
Computer and all of that.
internet.
And then they have the junior high.
The junior high, that's the seventh grade, is $830.
So those people
So
go
the
to
people
labs,
they go to
science
lab,
labs,
science,
and computer.
thank you.
What's about
Yes,
the senior high?
So the senior
11
high, our fee is $930.
to 930.
So
I mean-
you see, there are so many things within the fees. When you go for lab, you go for computer lab, science lab, and the three set of uniform, books, everything.
Export the
So are these fees, affordable? Are these fees affordable by parents?
Oh,
Even
yes.
though it may be delayed.
I know it. Yes, the fee is affordable compared to other schools.
Okay.
The other schools
For
and
emphasis, we allow payments
by
in installment.
installment. Yeah.
So it makes it flexible and parents are able to afford within the time. So we have about 5 installments. Yeah, for the
Six.
academic. Let's say 6
Six
installments.
So what do you do with students who owe school fees? Like you may mention, you still have areas for last year.
Okay,
What do you do
happened?
to them? Do you send them?
What happened, we have
Yeah.
a system. We have a system like, for example, if your child is owing fees, we try to send you a notice. We send notice for 2 weeks. We do a written notice and send it to the parent to inform them that that child is owing fee. So after the 2 weeks, we call the parents. And if we cannot get you, we ask the child to be on a class until the parent can come.
What is this one, Mr. Superintendent?
No, that's the same thing. I just was saying when you are a parent, you are concerned about your student. Our basic belief is not for money, but money is needed to run. Because without the money, you don't have toilet tissue. Without the money, teacher can't teach. They need to eat to have strength to. So, but we make it so flexible. We have broken the fees of the first semester into 4 pieces, so that you pay 100 something or 200 or 150 in some of the grades. You get the whole set of books and go to school. And then then when you watch maybe after 1 month or so, then you meet another hurdle again. Then you clear that other hurdle. Then you go to the next week after 1 more month. Then you got another hurdle again, and you keep clearing until 5 months. Within the 5 months of the first semester, you can get the 4 hurdles removed. Some people do not move the first one, and they beg and they come in, and the more you have on your plate, they higher your hurdle, and you have to jump higher. And that can cause some problem. And Liberia is not problem free like any other people do, because the man get his money, and then of course he might pass away. Then who are on this side will keep holding the empty bag because we can understand too. And you can press the man. This is a Christian institution. We can keep the child outside because we are using an international kind of books. And the curriculum is designed, lesson plan for 180 days, and the assembly days are planned with the tests and quizzes, room, exam. So you got to be on schedule. So you will finish in time. So if you put a child out, you can just imagine what it will look like. But when Mama and Papa can't come now, and we try our own little way to keep the children there, because so many people are dishonest. If we help them to the end of the year, they transfer the child to another place, and our money goes with them.
And another thing, and sometimes parents can send in letters. They will send a promising letter to tell us that we should give them time to do the payment. So we get a promissory note on our text for the children. We always call the parent to remind them of their payment.
So, what are challenges or issues that teachers are facing? What are some things that you have received complaint from or you have observed that are issues confronting your teachers as administration or administrators? Yeah.
Okay, so I will want to begin with that. I think the new wave of, let's say, discipline, how the stakeholders view discipline, how they want discipline to be in schools, I think is causing some problem, is a challenge for teachers in schools. Because for us here, we run a dual educational system. We focus on spiritual and the moral aspect of man. If that is not settled, all what we give him, the knowledge, the acquisition of knowledge will be vain. And so we run a system that is so unique that for of one aspect, the other one will not be, given properly. So we have a system of discipline here that ran along with the academic one since 1983. We believe that the children, based on our Christian principles here, we believe that the children have some tendencies that are foolish. And unless we as actors within this sector can walk by that principle by disciplining them, they will not take in. We have rules. In the learning space, we say students should not leave their seats unauthorized. They should not speak in the class without seeking permission. But no, it is challenging when you have the human rights and some parents who are postmoderns coming in to tear down that particular system. You found someone telling you that if my child did not do the assignment, you can keep the child. I'm the one paying my fees. You don't have to do anything with the child. Just tell him, oh, you didn't do the assignment, he knows it. But I think there should be some penalty for disobedience or refusal to do assignment. The child should be penalized. But some people want their children to move through the educational system without any semblance of authority being exercised above these children.
And you know what is responsible for that?
I think the stakeholders are responsible.
So any recommendation?
Yeah, I would like to firstly recommend that the stakeholders, namely the Ministry of Education, should not run the ministry on the radio. Because sometimes what is not policy in the book, when you go at that radio station and you alter it, it is policy. You are the express representation of the president. And administratively, if you go on that radio and say these things, it is policy. We should not be students. If the girl child is impregnated, they should stay in the school. They should learn. For us, we have not accepted that. And I understand it is accepted in the government school already. But these are the challenges that teachers are faced with mostly in our learning space. Discipline.
Thank you.
Too many interference from parents and the stakeholders. We are mere actors, but we have great significance and importance. If you take that authority from us to discipline the children, the authority to impart their knowledge will not be taken seriously. It will be largely extinct.
How dangerous is that when that doesn't happen in the school like Soltiamon?
Then we will be building rebels.
But the Bible says, spare the rod and spoil the child. That's a biblical thing.
Great. So here at this school, this Soltiamon Christian School, sitting the one here on 21st Street, are all your teachers here pay the same about the salaries, or I mean, are there category of salaries payment, or do you have some teachers here who are volunteering?
Okay, let me answer that. At Soltiamon, we pay our teachers according to qualification.
Okay.
Yeah, so they
And experience.
qualification and experience.
Okay. I hope you. I'm sure you're not going to cost them the salary.
Let me just,
But if I want to count it, maybe you say, oh, our salary around 100, 200. Could you say something like that?
it depends on what degree you hold and the quality of your output, along with the number of years you spend, because each year we evaluate it, and if your quality, if you teach with quality, and we see how it is, then we put something into you. So the high school people, they pay according to the Ministry of Education. There are some kind of thing there, but we design it so that maybe 150. The people who are AA, something to go to 150 state, 180, something like bachelor degree, go pay 200 or 250. So go master 650 or that 6.
Okay. All right.
Administrative area, they get a give you more there.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent.
Give you more.
Thank you. So what do you do for teachers? Do you offer any benefits to your teachers here at the school? Do you have any benefit for teachers outside of what is on the book for them? You have any benefit for them?
Let me answer that.
Yeah.
As Soltiamon, what we usually do is we give our teacher loan without interest.
Loan.
Yes. So for example, you want something, you want to credit, we don't call that credit because it's a benefit for them. So we give you that loan, and you will tell us how you want the deductions to be made. So sometimes we give 1,000 plus 500,000 plus people, and we do deductions every month.
Besides
That's
that.
a benefit for the students.
You can eat some rice and scratch car
Okay.
and some oil.
I think in addition,
Get it tough now.
in addition to that, we also help build the capacities. Because you know that someone applies, they come with even the BSc. Our curriculum is so unique that you have to have some orientations. So we provide that. We organize trainings for them. We train them, they don't pay for the trainings. Yeah.
Does this school receive subsidies from anywhere?
From whom?
Anywhere, maybe government, maybe
The government said again.
external sources. Is that something do you?
Yeah. We first of all, we are Baptistic school, and because of our Bible conviction, we don't normally accept aid from government.
Okay.
Because we believe in separation of church and state, so that what we do with our freedom, with relationship to the Constitution, will not be interfered with. But still, there are people who are in a state there who don't understand these things. Or either they understand it, but they pretend like they don't know separation of church and state. They have their own rule for their school. Sometimes they want to impose those rules upon us. And saying there is no good court. And people escape. And this kind of thing can lead to dictatorship. The people are not administratively clear to make the distinction between Bible institutions and governmental institutions. That is how it is. The government, if you believe we are doing something, even though it's advancing human dignity, but they do not accept it. For instance, we cannot accept homosexual in our school. Maybe some people they want to say they want to regularize the homosexual can be homosexuality can be accepted as part of the norm. Now we don't accept that as Christians. Or we have a young woman who is not married got pregnant. There's something in that norm book that will say the child can stay in the school until she delivers. Now those kind of things Christians can't obey, because when you commit fornication, you can't be in our school. And I think we are doing what that. One other thing, they always have problem with our passing grade 74 because of the way we drill and teach and all that. And sometimes they say, oh, we want it to be 70. No, if you want it to be 70, go to the next school. You can say, well, I come here, this is a school, I'm going to pray my Muslim prayer here, I'm Jehovah's Witnesses, I can raise the flag. No, we are Christian, Bible Christian, you don't bring those things here.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So the next question is, do you have feeding program here for the students?
No, they bring their own food.
They bring their own food?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Okay. Does a school offer scholarship? And if yes, what is in those scholarships?
We do.
If
we do.
How do
there
you
are
do it?
categories.
Yes. What are those categories?
Of scholarship. Scholarship 1, those who are grandchildren and children of the founders.
Okay.
They have full scholarship except for their parents to buy their books and buy their uniform. That's a form of scholarship. We have a scholarship that deals with the dukes, the assistant dukes. We can give that one scholarship. And then we added another scholarship for teachers' children. Those who are working at the ward. We have 50% of the tuition, and excluding books and uniform. So if you were employed with us and you have 2 or 3 children, they got 50% each. Then there's a scholarship.
Each one of them?
Yeah, each one of them 50%.
Oh, that's good.
And then there's a one we are just adding. We call it Helping Citizens Scholarship. The citizens who love our system, who have done something for it, who work with us, can earn some full or half scholarship. Because the Bible said, thou shalt not muzzle the ox that treadeth the corn. So if you are part of it, we are in the rain and you are with us, we go to court, you are with us, and all that, then your child must benefit too. The system is being put together. But some people are going to enjoy that this year.
Thank you.
And also we have the parents who
Yes.
parents that have 3 or more
Oh
children.
yeah. If you have
So that is besides the 50%
yeah.
scholarship?
Yeah, that one, that
Oh, really?
50% is for teachers' children.
Okay.
But you are parent, you got 3 from 2 and 3. When you have 3 children.
So if I send my kids at their work?
Yeah. The 3rd one will get a scholarship, the 4th one will get a scholarship, the 5th one will get a scholarship like that.
That's great. So do you have internet system here for the students and the teachers? You have internet system here?
Yes.
That's great. Do you have library?
Library, yes.
Library.
We have one of the best libraries, one of the best lab in Liberia here now.
Already?
Yes.
The hotel tour in there.
We have a pleasure.
Yeah. So does the school have, you said it already, so no, the school have the required textbook for students?
Oh yes.
Go to see them, right?
Yes. And by the way, we passed very bigly. Mr. Trump said, in a WAYAC or WASIC, I call it now. Yeah. I think one person is supposedly filling.
Yeah.
We sent 32, is it 33 or 32?
32.
32 persons, all passed except one.
Okay, that's great. This is Soltiamon. So your teachers, do they sell pamphlet to students?
No.
Or do they produce pamphlet free of
No,
charge?
everything, all our things are produced already.
Free of charge.
Free of, yeah, it's included in our.
Yeah, it's inclusive.
Yeah.
Once you pay, no one going to tell you,
You pay
say,
now, nobody
my
will
pamphlet at 150,
No.
200.
No.
It has zero tolerance on that.
Yeah, no, if you sell pamphlet, you're fine.
Okay. Are students given tab rating on the blackboard or is tab
It's also it's printed.
printed tab?
Yeah, printed. All tests, quizzes are printed except pop quiz. If they say give pop quiz, then you write it on the board.
How many sessions does the school run? One session.
Yes.
When, from when to when?
From 8 to 4.
From 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Yes.
Okay. So what are the challenges the male students are facing here that you see? Is there any challenge faced by your male students?
We're speaking for the students.
Yeah, as administrator.
Yeah.
As administrator,
I think peer pressure. Pressure is
Uh-huh.
mainly. Yeah. Friends want to be like friends. And a friend want to eat what the other friend eat, then some kind of bad thing caught in their hand and they all expelled. Those are challenges today. Well, of course, they are being challenged to focus on their lessons so that those who will make good grades are going to receive reward. That's a new thing Mrs. Joy is bringing, the Minister of Education here, call it Chief Education Officer.
Same goes for females.
Yeah,
Same question. Same question goes for females. What are problem you feel? Today, have you experienced maybe a female student goes into the bar room and comes and complains, oh, the male student wanted to enter the bar and something of sex?
No, okay, so let me
just say something first, then he will come in. In our system, we look at the female today as endangered species. Mercy, when the child they coming to stand out, then they want to play. So they have a little bit of advantage, so that we push them big time to go forward, so that by 18 they will graduate from high school, and that by the time their eyes are opened, they will be in a college, and then we prevent the taking of all women inside the classroom with the babies, because she might whisper something to them and all that kind of thing. But money might be inside, but we just want their ages to conform with each other, and then they can grow together.
Another thing is that the bathrooms are not, they are not usually together.
Okay.
The boys' bathrooms upstairs, and we have the girls downstairs.
Oh, that's
And
good.
if you check out the bathroom, you will see we got the caretakers are there.
Yes.
The women caretakers are there.
I wanted to ask that question. Let me just ask you, do you have counselor for the females?
Yes,
Female
yeah,
counselor, if not counselor or caretaker?
Health counselor here too.
Okay, that's great.
So boys are
So-
not allowed to go in the girls' bathroom.
Alright, so is there
So
something
we
to-
don't have any LBGT or something here. Yeah, so we will not have that problem.
So tell me, do you have measures for teachers to students affair or students to student affair? Yeah, it is good. You have measures on
a code
that.
of conduct
Okay.
that guides the children, and even the teacher with a contract. Instead.
If you see it, what do you do?
Oh no, you finish.
How?
If you cross the line, you can stay here.
If it is a student to student.
Yeah, student, no way. It shouldn't be.
What's about buying grades? Do you have measures for that?
Oh yeah.
Maybe I'm
the
praying
student
over.
code of conduct call for expulsion.
If I'm the parent, come and buy the grade for the teacher, you see that. What do you do?
Well, we have no control over the parent, but the child.
Okay.
Yes.
What's about the teachers involved?
And he's gone too.
Robbery is a two-way street.
Robbery.
Even that student will not come back to the school.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Do you have a PTA here? And if you have, what have been their role What a year. What do they do? What do the PTA do?
We don't have the normal PTA.
Okay.
We have the what we call the parent-teacher engagement.
Okay. Why you decided to name your own parent-teachers engagement?
Well, there's misunderstanding in this country with parent-teacher. When I was in the States, you see that 3-4-story building was built by parents for the school. And you understand? But our own parent and teacher is quickly politicized. And then the rule that we work with here is supposed to be biblical. So it's good that we avoid organized PTA with heads and things that will give us problems. But the engagement is beautiful, where they can sit down at the end of the period and we can sit down, they can bring their question, we can bring questions, and then when we're ready to do something, we inform them, they can call each other, and like the sport day, they have their own team, they have this. Those are the things. Because we do not want anything that is going to be far removed from our vision of developing a whole human being soul and body and spirit.
Do you have extra curriculum activities, if you do have, or program, if you do have? What are some of those extra curriculum activities that your students and teachers are involved in?
You were helping.
Yes, so I can start with that. The immediate active special curriculum activities or extracurricular activities is the press club. It's actually active across our system, and it is based here. The students also, when they during the course of the academic year, they engage into the intellectual challenges.
And they can teach.
Yeah, and the home economics also. So the extracurricular activity cuts across football. So school just commenced, so the first one will be the ONU student game, but it's on the schedule. Okay, so
okay.
Yeah.
As we draw the curtain down, because I'm sure you've been here for about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So do you have what they call Queen contest? If you do have, what do you do with the money raised from there?
Well, we don't have Queen contest.
You don't have?
We don't have King contest.
Okay, that's great. So, Mr. Superintendent, tell me something about some of the brightest students of the school, maybe from the funding of the school to where you are now. What can you say about some of your students that you are proud of? Maybe some of them making mark in the society. I can remember a gentleman called, I'll call you on the video here, a gentleman called Basigia Gayaze. I mean, he called the video once. He said, we are proud product of the Soltiamon Christian school system. So what can you say? Is this some of us are engineers, and stuff like that. What can you say about some of your brightest students?
Hey, I wish I got it that question before they done. I would name somebody. There have been people who can point as somebody that is good. One is sitting down here.
Okay. It's a graduate of the school.
Yes, a graduate from the school. Now he is studying at the Arthur Graham School of Law.
Okay.
And then we have a young lady who is going to be our first neurosurgeon. We're studying in West Africa, in South Africa. You got Gregory Coleman.
Okay.
He was here, one of the brothers from Harvard University, who were one of the police chief. You have a lot of them who are in engineering and who are, some of them are diplomats. I mean, they are all over the place. There are women who have.
Some of your children went to the school?
Yeah, university. They're my children finished here. But before the high school, they got through with junior high, then they went to Briggs, my children. And they are some of the brothers we have here in this country. Very thinking people.
What's the difference between students today at the Soltiamon school and maybe students after maybe 4 years down?
Yeah.
Any difference?
Yeah, because about 5 years ago or so, honesty is eroding.
Okay.
Even though that's one of our war, to be honest. So in those days, if you were taking tests, you simply just copy the test and put it down and pass it along, and you leave the place. And if you have the cover sheet, and each one will individually concentrate. Now, but we are catching people spying now these days.
What is responsible?
It's the society. You see, leaders in society, if they do not reflect honest position, then the children can take shortcut. If people that were put into government offices are not qualified, who struggle academically, then the children think it's a light thing. So we got to be very careful, because everything that you do out there reverberate in the classroom. Because you know, when I had a coup, some of the children said, "What is the need to study? Because if I can overthrow somebody," and the man himself was Master Sergeant, who could hardly read. Praise God, he bettered himself as he was. But you know, these things are affecting our children, because dishonesty in our society, both at home and in offices, are affecting the children.
Thank you.
Is affecting the children.
Thank you so much, Pastor Solomon Joa. He's a superintendent of the Soltiamon Christian School System in Liberia. We've been here at the 21st Street campuses of the school. We've been speaking with him and others in administration. We're going to be taking a tour to a few of the classrooms and the library. They say they have a library. Do you have a computer lab also?
Yes.
We're going to take the camera to the computer lab and the library and few of the classes. This year, he already started already, right? School open already.
Yeah.
You should have opened on the 5th. Others call on government that they couldn't do it. It was just not easy. Why you open?
We got a government session. We obey when they say, and we obey. That's a biblical thing to do.
Okay. Thank you so much. So we're going to be taking the camera around. I've been speaking with the superintendent here. This is Focus on Liberia. My name is Prince Mulbah. I'm here at the Soltiamon School System here on the 24th Street. Sorry, 23rd Street. 21st Street, that's it. And I'm taking the camera down to the classroom. I'm sure the register will carry me around.
Yeah, please.
Let you do so. Okay. And I've been speaking with the superintendent and someone from the finance office, the most powerful office, Mrs. Weir from the finance office, the most powerful office in a working environment. My name is Prince. Let me say good morning to our CEO, Mr. Dennis Jar in the United States of America. Let me say good morning to Mr. Anthony Sear. He is the operation manager there at FOL. Keep following, keep watching as we move along.
Registrar's office.
Okay.
We share office with the principal of the 21st Street campus. He's Mr. Solomon David.
Okay.
He's the principal of the 21st Street campus.
All right.
So we can take us through to the nearby offices.
Yeah.
This is the cashier's office for the 21st Street.
All right.
And this is 19th Street cashier's office.
Okay.
And this is the cashier office of the 21st Street campus, the high school.
Okay.
Good. So this is where all our money business, are done.
The friendly office.
Yeah, all of our.
Sunday on friendly as well. Okay. Listen. Okay.
That's the director of finance office. Finance.
All right.
Yeah. That's the office. Okay. So we can go to the classes or go to the lab.
Yeah, from the class we go to the lab, then we'll conclude. So who is this?
This is the receptionist is for the 21st Street campus.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the grade 12 class. He is the chemistry teacher for the senior high school. And that is the sponsor for the grade 12 class, Mr. James Grove. This is Mr. Ellison. This is focused on Liberia.
Okay.
Media institution.
So you teach chemistry. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, and you?
I'm great too. Your name?
My name is Alex Jason.
And you teach chemistry, according to what I just heard.
Chemistry High School.
How it feels for you to be teaching chemistry in Liberia at this time in the school system?
Well, thank you. I'm so happy that at least we come back to help our country. But it's so hard that you find people normally I'm a doctor, to come down high school to teach. It's so difficult. But we come back to help our people at least to have interest in the field. Because it's difficult at times to teach chemistry. Normally when you see students are not seeing what you are teaching, you get teach. So you have to come back to tell them that look, there are so many fields, the discipline that you need to try your possible best and be part of. You can do chemistry and survive.
How are the students responding to your teaching, especially chemistry? Because I know how difficult it is for some students in these math subjects.
So in terms of response, they are trying on the average. We know it's difficult because we have the issue of challenge when it comes to the issue of these laboratories, material, some apparatus. We don't really have them, but we try our possible best with the students, at least to bring it down to the of our students, their issue books, so we use the prescribed textbook for our students, and we blend that also with the military education textbook and curriculum also.
Thank you. Your name?
My name is
Thank you. So we'll take a view of the class. This is the 12th grade class. Beautiful faces here, both male and female. A beautiful lady. Good afternoon. What's your name? So this is the science lab here, right? Where is lab? Okay. Let's go.
Alright, so let's go to the
Which class is it?
the gateway to the senior high.
Grade 9A, right?
Yeah, we one is right back here.
Okay, are you the teacher? Yes. Good afternoon. I want to speak to you. We're going to focus on Liberia. How are you doing?
I'm good, sir.
What subject do you teach at this school?
Teach history.
All right. How does it feel for you teaching history in Liberian schools?
Our history, to kids who are paid their hard-earned money to get, some basic information about any about our country and the world.
Thank you. How difficult it is to teach in Liberia, or especially the Soltiamon school system? Is there anything difficult?
Not ever difficulty, because our teaching aids and materials are always prepared to undertake such a great venture. And we have a
downstairs.
So let's go to the library now. Yeah, go to the library.
We are temporarily using here for registration of the elementary people.
Okay. So here's a computer lab of the school here, where the students can come practice computer according to the school's administration. From here, we're going to go to the library, and then we're going to be ending this live video. As you can see here, This is the Soltiamon school system, the one that is on the 21st Street in Sinkor. We're taking a tour there this morning, spoken with the school's administration about how things working for them. So we just taking this tour from there, and we're going to the library, and then we call it a day. Okay, so this is the library.
Okay, this is the library for the 21st Street campus.
Okay,
And
so
it's obviously the biggest library within our school system.
so what are some of the books you have here?
Also, you will speak directly with our librarian. There she is.
Okay. All right.
This is focused on Liberia and the institution. Sorry, it's impromptu.
Good afternoon. I'm seeing you. You look like you're not expecting us to be. Sorry, you have to be on camera.
Well, I have in this session, I have history books.
History books.
Yeah, mostly American.
Are they mostly American?
Yeah.
Why are they mostly American?
Probably because the previous librarian, he didn't put in for updated books on Liberia history, so.
Okay.
But I already put in for those, and those will come.
All right. So what the
And
next?
here I have science.
What is science? It's a science book.
Yeah. I have science, I have chemistry, I have physics.
Are they current updated
biology.
books?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, see this right here, this is biology.
Okay.
And they have figures, cognitive system, and everything.
Okay.
And I have mathematics.
Mathematics here.
Yeah, for junior high, senior high, geometry, junior high, senior high, algebra, and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then over here, we have English.
English where? English here, right?
Yeah. Reading books, English books,
Okay.
dictionary.
If you like, you can come to the
Okay, so as we take leave of you from your office, how do you view the educational system in Liberia? As a young lady working in the library as a librarian, you interact with students
For high school.
for high school.
For Soltiamon, this school is strictly on discipline, and that is one thing that I really admire about them, because they really strive to according to their curriculum and everything. Yeah, so I admire that.
How were you hired? How?
Pardon?
How were you hired to work here?
Oh,
What is your background?
my background. I'm a high school graduate.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't been to college. Yeah. Anderson.
Thank you so much. Okay, folks, thanks for watching. Once again, my name is Prince Mulbah. We've been here at the Soltiamon Christian School System, the one that is on the 21st Street, that is in Sinkor. We're going to take leave of you now. Let me say thanks to our Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Dennis Cha, in the USA, Atlanta, Georgia. Let me say thanks to Mr. Anthony Sia. He is the Operation Manager of Focus on Liberia. Let me say thanks to Tio William.